Council, Searcy County. I think this would be a perfectly fine proposal to bring to the convention, because if the convention wants to limit its own power in this way, that's a perfectly fine thing. I don't think it makes sense for the state committee to preempt the convention with the convention so close, and I wonder why this proposal wasn't made for the convention. And we all understand that whatever the voting threshold is, people have the right to bring any rules proposal that they want to. Somebody could propose that everyone has to wear blue wigs at meetings, but we understand that the delegates are going to be reasonable, rational people, and they're not going to adopt something like that. I feel like this is a reaction to people disliking specific proposals that have been made, and I hope that you will all trust the delegates of the convention to do their duty to our party as they've done for so many years. Thank you.
My name is Steve Lux. I'm Saline County. I'm chairman, former chairman of the Rules Committee and current chairman of the Platform and Resolutions Committee. It's interesting how historically, if you look at our party, we've had institutional knowledge both at the state committee level and at the state convention. Historically, you've had kind of the same people, or maybe some new people show up at the state convention, but you'd have people, elected officials, what have you. In Saline County this year, we have 55 delegates going to the state convention. No elected officials. An outside group put together a list of who they wanted to go, and that's who's going, those 55. Of the 55, I'm just about sure that none of them, or maybe one or two of them, were members 2 years ago, and several of them just joined the night of the convention and are now going to the state convention to perhaps make rules changes. Maybe 10 out of the 55 are brand new members, have no institutional knowledge whatsoever, rules, platform, whatever. And we're going to give them a 50% plus one chance of changing things. Whereas here today, if we were going to change a rule or a platform, it would take 2/3 plus one. I think it's crazy to continue to do it differently for the state convention as opposed to the state committee, and I'm in favor of this rules change.
Against?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jennifer Lancaster. I'm the chair of the 2nd Congressional District. I've been pretty vocal in opposition to this proposed rule change. That has been based solely on principle, and it wasn't until last night when I had to look into this a little bit further. Last few days have been kind of sick, you can probably tell by how I sound. But when I looked into it, I actually realized a couple of things. So the committee and the convention are authorized by statute. Further, Arkansas law requires that the party submit rules to the Secretary of State and the State Board of Election Commission. Article 1 of our current RPA rules states, and I'm reading, the final authority in all party matters shall rest in the biennial Republican State Convention, which shall be deemed to have delegated such interim authority to the State Committee and the Executive Committee as is necessary to carry out the purposes and objectives of the party. You all are operating today based on delegated authority. So under Robert's rules and common sense, a body operating under delegated authority cannot restrict the authority of the delegating body. When the party does not follow those rules as they have been promulgated and submitted to the Secretary of State and State Board of Election Commission, it violates due process. And because the members of the party and the public do not know the conduct to which they must adhere, refusal to follow published rules violates due process. As many of the attorneys in this room know, case law says that the courts will not get involved in party disputes, except when there's a violation of civil rights. Due process is civil rights. So I, as a result, and as I've recently learned of the unintended consequences that may result from the passage of this, I move that we submit this to a committee, refer this to a committee, that all the members can be appointed by you, Mr. Chairman.
Second. You heard the motion.
It's out of order.
Parliamentarian.
Out of order.
It's not out of
You have a motion, restate your motion.
It's out of order. It's out of order. Out of order.
The motion is to refer it to a committee, the members of which will be appointed by you, Mr. Chairman.
I have a parliamentarian.
Out of order.
Point of order. Motion on the table.
The parliamentarian has already visited and said that we can go ahead and take the motion. And it was a motion and a second. We'll do a voice vote first. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye. and the newly elected House Majority Leader. First, I want to say this rule is proposed to make the rules consistent between the state committee and the state convention. It really, in my mind, to have a rule proposal fail here because it doesn't meet the 2/3 threshold and then go to the convention and pass with a simple majority rule, these rules need to be consistent between the two. Second, I'm going to address the issue that some say this is a power grab. In reality, it's something that's more important and should be a common goal of everyone in this room, and it is to protect our platform, that unites us, that we all hold true. And so, I think when you start changing the platform, it should require a greater threshold than 50% of the folks that are in the room. So as a message, I've seen posts on social media and other things about, let's get ready for the unity speech. Well, here's some of it. We need to be unified in protecting our platform. And with that, I'm going to ask you to vote yes.